I was molested when I was in secondary school. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Hui Mei. So recently there's a lot of uproar regarding the girl in the National University of Singapore who got filmed while she was showering, and I'm posting this video only now because I didn't want to ride the wave. I'll share with you my story first, and at the end of the video I'll include tips and things to do to prevent such things from happening, and if you were to be in such a situation, what you could do. I was molested when I was in secondary school. I was going down just a regular day wearing... Okay, I feel the need to explain what I was wearing. And I know that this is not even something I should think about, but the fact is I was wearing a really big t-shirt and like a knee length pants. They looked really ugly on me, and I just felt disgusting because it was just like a, just lapsap, which is just, like anything, just a very casual and don't give a damn kind of outfit, which is not really an outfit even. It's just like I was just going downstairs to buy food for my family, and I was walking downstairs my house and towards the lift, and then I had a strong gut feeling to do something with my food, to like whack the person behind me. I had a very strong gut feeling when after I was done purchasing my food, to just use my food and whack somebody who is following me at the back. I didn't know that the person was following me, but I just felt like somebody was at the back, and I was like, oh, if anything were to happen, in my brain it was just like playing this scene. If anything were to happen, I would just use my, I think I bought fish soup, like use that 鱼片汤, right, in Chinese, to like whack the person. I had no idea why I had those feelings, and I don't usually have such feelings or things that I want to do. I took the lift to my house, and the person went in with me and didn't press the buttons. So that should ring a bell for me, but it didn't. I was still like, okay, maybe he lives on the same level, but he didn't press any button, and that's kind of weird, but I just left it as it is. In the lift, I was inside, and then he was on the outside. He came out first when it reached my level, and then I came out after him. And at that place itself, it was not inside the lift, we were outside the lift, he turned around and he touched my breasts. And after he touched my breasts, he ran to the stairs and he ran away. And I didn't know where he ran to. I was frozen. And I feel like some people say that, if you were to encounter any situations that are bad, be it a robbery or something, it's usually like fight or flight or something. But in reality, in such instances, it's freeze. It's not even fight or flight. I couldn't run after him or fight him, because it was so sudden. It's something that you don't expect. And I just froze. And I froze for a while. And then I just kind of like, okay, got myself to know what the heck was happening, and I went home because I was just so close to home, and this happened. I went home, and then I told my parents, and my dad came out with me, and we were looking for the perpetrator. We were just walking around outside, but I was scared. I was like, I don't want to go out, as in, it's frightening. And then I was clutching to him, and then somehow he met his friends around the area, and then the person was like bringing us around to see whether we could find the person. But obviously, in that shock, like, that moment of shock, I couldn't recognize the person, and I just wasn't able to find the person at all. So I didn't dare to buy food outside or even just step out of my house for a while. I always wanted my parents to follow me if there was really a need to go out. And I was basically not independent for quite a while. I would say what really made me feel a bit better, or at least just make me feel less afraid, is time. Time is the only thing that can make you feel better. And over time, I also took up Muay Thai. I joined the police force as a voluntary special constabulary. That act for a few seconds scarred me for such a long time. And even many years later, I still remember it vividly. That really goes to show that outrage of modesty cannot be taken lightly. And silly me didn't call the police, or my parents also didn't call the police because I wasn't even able to identify the person. I mean, I think there wasn't like any CCTV at that time, like installed. So in my head, it was just like, obviously, there's no way I could have done anything. But there was this girl who was sharing on YouTube about how she was molested. So her stepbrother held her hand in like a secluded area, or like at the back of a house, and then like put her hand in his pants. At that time, her actual sibling was in the same area, and so they just like barged in, and I was like, oh, what's going on, that kind of thing. They were really small kids at the time, and this happened, and she didn't tell anyone about it. After that, they got information, I think probably years down the road, they got information that that guy who held her hand and put it in his pants to touch his dick was jailed because he raped a young girl. So if you let the person go away scot-free and think that nothing will happen to him, there could be other victims, and you don't want that to happen. Before I jump into what you could do, I would like to just put a disclaimer out there that this what I'm giving, the solutions and tips and advice, are only more towards whatever happened to me, or instances or crimes that are similar to mine, and not something that is done by maybe a family member, because that would be a whole different context and ball game altogether. First things first, parents should have such conversations and tell their kids what they could do, and same for teachers. The thing is, most people in such instances freeze, just like me, and so to just drill into them what they could do, so that it would be a reflex action or something that they do without even thinking. You should drill into them something that they could do, such that it becomes reflex. It becomes like instantaneous to them what they could do, rather than just freeze. Freezing should not be the reflex action that happens when you're in such a situation. That's the last thing that you could do for yourself, which is freezing. Another thing is to avoid quiet, dark, dangerous areas. If you know you're gonna end up walking that way home and it's dark and dangerous, just try to walk another way which is more which is brighter, and then maybe there are more people around, and that would make you feel at least safer as well. If in the event, touch on wood, you are molested or something happened to you, call the police, please. I regret not contacting the police because I thought that I couldn't recognize the person, and there was no way, there was nothing I could give the police, no evidence, no nothing, except that except that the person touched my boobs. Even if the person isn't nabbed, at least there is a record. There was another article I came across where the person said that the offenders usually get away scot-free because the victims feel too traumatized to pursue the perpetrator. But I would just suggest you to calm yourself down. I know it's hard, but you will calm yourself down a little at least over time, and do the right thing. Because what would you do if the victim is not you and it's your family member? You would obviously want to do something about it, right? You would need to catch that person. So calm yourself down and just call the police. Contact the authorities that are able to help you. Actual things that you can hold with you or you can bring along with you if you're in Singapore or if you're out of Singapore. So in Singapore, they ban a lot of stuff, so you wouldn't be able to get pepper spray from what I understand online. So and I haven't ever seen any pepper spray around. So in Singapore, I would say I carry a whistle with me with my keys, letting your friends or your family members and family members know your whereabouts. For example, location tracking on Telegram. That one will also be helpful. Bring a sharp pen with you. This tip was taught to me by a solo traveler on YouTube, and I watch her videos regularly, and she talked about how she will bring a sharp pen around. So in case someone were to get close or try to attempt to do something, at least the pen can serve as a weapon as well if you really, use some strength. Yeah, so it's not like you carry a weapon around, but like a sharp pen can injure that person to like deter that person from continuing whatever the heck he was doing or he or she was doing. Out of Singapore, pepper spray, and I don't know what else you can do or you can use. Let me know in the comments below so I can be more equipped if I'm going overseas and what I can do to protect myself. Another point is trust your gut. I would say that as human beings and we are also like animals, right? So we would have instincts and things that tell us, and just like feelings which will allow us to sense danger. And so trust your gut. Don't just, like, just put it out of your mind. If you feel like something is wrong, I felt something was wrong, but I wasn't sure. I was just like, I was too young then. Just maybe if I only trusted my gut, I would have probably walked out and not stepped into the lift and give him a chance to just touch me when I was outside my house. So I would have like walked away, or just walked around, or just not stepped into the lift to allow this kind of things to happen to me. If you have been suffering from the trauma of such crimes, get counseling. So for me, what helps is to get my whatever horrible feelings and whatever out and talk about it. So counseling will or might help you. I don't want to condemn the perpetrators in this video, but before you do anything or think about committing any crime, sexual crime, and also any crimes, in fact, know that justice will be served. And if you're not caught this time, once, twice, thrice, it doesn't mean you'll be free forever. And I'm sure you know deep down that committing such acts is wrong. And so if you're struggling with anything, seek help from friends or family or professional therapists or counselors or teachers. If you're a student, think about how it would feel as to be forever known as a sex offender. For people to see you as someone with history, for employers, for your friends, for your family members to see you as someone with history. Love yourself enough to not act on impulse. Love your family enough to not drag them through the mud. Think about how it would feel if you were the victim, or if you were the grandparent or parent or sibling or partner of the victim. How would you feel? I'm Heng Hui Mei, reporting from Singapore.
And cut.